Hey, name's Cyan's son, or just Cy for short, and I like playing games, so I kinda just want to talk about them. But to be more specific, I want to talk about some of the games that I've been enjoying this past year, and then maybe take the time to talk about games that I'm looking forward to in the near or far future. I'm gonna try to talk about games that are a little bit less known, but there definitely will be a few games that are more known here, but regardless, I just want to talk about games, so I'm gonna start talking about them. Now, the first game up is Shady Knight, a game where you play as a knight stuck in a state of limbo, slowly gaining the strength to go after your killer as you complete each trial that you are set on, with the gameplay being a fast-paced FPS with an emphasis on your actions for the sake of a score, like DMC or Ultra Kill. What makes the gameplay unique for an FPS is the fact that you don't have a gun. What you have is a chain to use on both your enemies and the environment to your advantage. There are a myriad of weapons and environmental interactions to use against your enemies, as well as being able to use your movement to your advantage as well. All of this culminating in a game that quickly turns fights into a stylish dance of death as you do the best that you can with both combat and movement to get the highest score. I like how this game isn't just shoot bad guy with gun. While that is fun, this game makes me look and interact with the environment more than I normally would, because the environment is a part of the gameplay. It's both your offense and defense throughout the entire game, resulting in a very fun experience. I also like the art style, the atmosphere, the music. It's all really neat and well put together. I'm sorry, that's all I've got to say about that. I'm not particularly good at converting how I feel about subjective and intrinsic elements of a game into a comprehensive and well-worded sentence. But anyway, for the next game, let's get a little magical. Or more magical than talking to a floating skull in limbo, I guess? I don't know. The next game's about magic. We're gonna talk about it. Up next is Eternal Strands. In this game, you take control of a Weaver, a magical user named Bryn, who's working with others in a group called the Weaver's Band as they work together to solve the mystery behind a great cataclysmic event that destroyed the home of many Weavers, causing magic to be borderline outlawed throughout the rest of the lands as many fear what magic is capable of ever since this event. The gameplay for this is fairly sandboxy, with how you are given tools that have certain interactions with one another, and how you have the ability to use that on the environment around you as well. For example, you get frost magic that you can use to freeze enemies in place, like being able to freeze the foot of a giant to lock it in place for a few seconds, or you can freeze the wings of a dragon to have it fall out of the sky. You can then use gravity magic to pick up the ice chunks that you just made to throw them at your enemies. And you do also get 3 weapons to switch between as well, and while they are useful, the main aspect of this game in my opinion is the magic you wield and how you can combine things to have certain interactions. However, that's also why I'm not going to really talk about the gameplay that much more, because one of the most important things about the game is the magic and learning how you can use what you get. So that's the thing that I would talk about, but I don't want to spoil it because that's one of the more fun aspects of the game that I think other people should enjoy for themselves. So to get to the other aspects of the game, I think they all range from decent to good. I think the writing is decent and the ensemble of main characters are pretty likable, along with having enjoyable world building. I did overall enjoy the story. The art design is nice, the music is decent, and the boss fights are fun with overall enjoyable enemy design. I did also want to mention that I think this is the first game of the dev team behind this, so all things considered, if it actually is, this is a pretty damn good start. So on the off chance that anyone from the dev team sees this, genuinely good job to everyone involved. You guys did a very good job creating a whimsical story about a magical world and just making a fun game to play. So I'm looking forward to whatever you decide to make next, but I think it's time to get funky. Cyberfunk. That was a terrible transition. I'm keeping that in the video, but that was really bad. It's staying in. This is staying in. For most, I don't think you need an introduction for this game, but for the few who don't, it's like Jet Set Radio. Alright, that's all I need to say. Yeah, this game is pretty fun. Great art style, amazing soundtracks, smooth and satisfying controls. To be completely honest, I don't really know what to talk about for this game, as a lot of people have already talked about this game and have probably done it way better than me, and so because of that I don't really know what to say about it or talk about it, because as I said, many people have already played this game and many people have already talked about it, so there's not much I could particularly say that would be unique to me. Its premise is pretty straightforward. For those that don't know about it, you skate around and do cool tricks for a high score. I like this game and you probably do too, and if you don't already know about it, I'd imagine you would probably enjoy it if this is your type of game. But I don't really have much else to say, so I'm gonna move on now. Welcome to the world of VR. It is hell. In this game, you find yourself as a test subject under the rule of what is believed to be a powerful man-made AI that has one goal for you and the hundreds of others stuck in that virtual reality with you. Gain combat data. And it gains this combat data by watching you kill a bunch of bots. But what makes you different is the fact that the position you fill once belonged to another person that still has their consciousness intact despite their body already being long gone. So now you've got a voice with heavy combat experience in your head guiding you so that you can both find a way out of there to gain your freedom. This game is a roguelite FPS, and to start off I want to say that I don't typically like roguelites. I enjoy a steady sense of progression towards a goal, or just getting better and stronger in a game over time. But the point of roguelites is that a lot of that power that you garner throughout a run is taken away from you once you die and you have to start over. Some games do have small buffs or upgrades that you gain through a currency that you keep even in death, so that somewhat mitigates how I feel. However, overall I just don't like roguelites, unless the gameplay is fun enough for me that I'll play it regardless. And this game is under that category, I suppose. This is a very fun FPS with one of the main aspects being the stun meter that enemies have, with one of the best ways to fill up that meter being a grenade. But it's not by hitting the enemies with the grenade itself that does the most damage, it's hitting the environment with a grenade and dropping debris on your foes. The other main aspect of this game is the upgrades that you can put on your weapon, from changing the projectiles you shoot, to small buffs, to even the way the gun fires. This game has satisfying gunplay and combines it with fun yet strong upgrades that work with roguelite type structuring, so while normally I don't like roguelites, I think this game is neat. It's got a fun premise and has good attributes to it as well between the art, music, general level design. I think it's got something going for it. So for the creator of the game and all those who might have been involved, good job. Genuinely. But next, I gotta learn how to outrun the end of the universe. Okay. Haste. I like this game. I have always enjoyed going fast in games. I can't exactly describe what I enjoy about it, but just the concept and action of going faster in any game is something that I really do enjoy doing, and this game is exactly that. Going fast. The premise for this game is that you take control of a character named Zoe, who has the ability to jump between dimensions, and used this ability to become a messenger, resulting in her being very good at getting from point A to point B very fast, which is good as the end of the world is here and Zoe needs to find out why while running from the ever-encroaching void. And as I've made very clear, this game is about running, and the gameplay is pretty straightforward. It isn't a roguelite, but it does have some elements of one. What I mean is that the main game is level based with an extra endless mode, but the items that you get provide small buffs and just help you, but only for that level. As you start from zero, the next level you start, with each level being a series of places that you run through with pathways that you can choose to go between, to go to places that can give buffs. Perhaps you find a shop, or you do challenge runs to get rewards. And once you complete a level or shard, by defeating the boss at the end of the path, you lose your items of the run, but you do get a currency that provides small stat buffs, or you can use that same currency to buy abilities from allies like a grappling hook or a double jump. I find this game very charming. It's simple but satisfying fun, it's got an art style that's nice to look at, a great soundtrack, and it does a good job at making you feel like you're going fast, which I obviously love. And I think this is also made by the same guys that made Tab G, so yeah, that's a pretty big difference, all things considered. But I like this game, and good job to everyone behind it. However, there is one last game I wish to talk about, so let's do that, shall we? The last game I'm going to talk about is Mecha Breakers. I won't really talk about the lore or story premise, as I haven't taken the time to look and really see what it's all about. But regarding the gameplay, the easiest way I can explain it is that it's a mech game with armored core-like combat and has some shooter hero elements. There are 3 modes, a 6v6 mode with a few different types of objectives in it, like TDM or escort. There's also a ranked version of it. There's an extraction mode, and there's a 3v3 elimination mode. I haven't played the 3v3 mode, but I do think the other 2 modes I have played are fun, and in my opinion, the 6v6 mode is the definitive experience for this game, again, in my opinion. And I do play the extraction mode just for the sake of switching it up, and I should try the 3v3 mode, but anyway. But regardless, to get into the actual gameplay, like I said, it's like Armored Core. So, it's a third-person shooter, but there isn't as much of an emphasis on aiming, as you really just need to keep your enemies in this little circle in order to hit them. In my opinion, the things that matter the most for doing well in this game is having decent situational awareness and having a good understanding of how each mech works in order to better understand how to play them, fight them, or work with them. So, I guess it would be best if I talked about the mechs now. There are 2 types of classification for them, weight and playstyle. Weight, you have light, medium, heavy, and super heavy, with weight just determining how fast they are and how much damage they can take. Next, you have playstyle, which is split into 5 categories. Brawler, which is melee oriented, sniper, which is snipers, and attacker, which is just general damage dealers that can range from Elysinus, a melee ranged hybrid mech, to Falcon, a ranged flyer mech. You've got the defender category, which is based around holding your ground the best and being able to take a good amount of damage to defend your teammates. And lastly, there's support, which is healers and just those that are able to provide general support that may not be directly through healing. So, with that out of the way, this game does resemble a hero shooter by having created characters, or mechs, that have a set loadout and an assigned playstyle. There is some team play in this game, but it's nowhere near as emphasized in my opinion as other games like Overwatch, for example. It's important to play with your team, as having 2 guns is better than 1, obviously, but depending on your mech and your playstyle and just the overall situation, playing on your own or not sticking with your team that much isn't a horribly bad idea. And depending on the team composition that you have, or how good your teammates are on their own as well, it's not a bad idea, completely at least, to be a bit more of a solo player or not stick with your team 24/7. But overall, it is better to do that. As I said, 2 guns is better than 1. It's just simple that way. And some mechs do work together well, and some mechs are good counters against another, making team play a little bit more important in those types of situations. And if you couldn't tell by this point, the gameplay is pretty fast-paced, and I like that. Constant action is fun, and I enjoy it. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to talk about like the ranked experience or talk about the balancing of the game, both of those things being important as this is a PvP game, but I won't talk about it because this segment's already too long, I think, and I only got to Masters in ranked, which I don't think is particularly good. So I don't think I have enough experience or skill to really talk about either of those. But before I talk about the games I'm looking forward to, I do want to end this section by saying, I know this game hasn't been received very well, and that it has its fair share of issues that make people dislike it, and I don't care. I think this game is fun. I fully recognize this game's problems, and I might make a video about Mecha Breakers where I go into more detail about its issues and just general mistakes, as taking the time to critique a game that you love is a good way for it to get better. But overall, I like this game, and if you have a different opinion, it's fine to be wrong, I guess. I don't know. Alright, this is already taking longer than I wanted it to, so I'm gonna kind of just lightning round these games. So, and also there isn't that much to talk about them because I literally can't play them anyway. So, to start, we've got Phantom Line. And from what I can tell, this game is going to be similar to SCP-5K, but it's going to be open world, apparently, which I'm curious to see what that will look like. And if that's done right, that sounds like it could be fun, so I'm gonna keep my eye on this. Den of Wolves, which looks like it's going to be a cyberpunk payday, which sounds fun as hell, and I want to play that. It sounds like it's going to have a very good soundtrack, and I want to keep an eye on this game. Next we've got Diesel Knights, a Titanfall-like game with a diesel punk aesthetic, and the guy behind this game has a YouTube channel as well, and he just started a Kickstarter, so maybe perhaps consider supporting this game, because from the videos I've seen, it looks like this game could be really fun, and it seems like the guy behind it is pretty passionate. Also, Titanfall's never getting another game, so anyone that wants to make a game that's remotely similar to Titanfall has my full support, because I miss Titanfall. I miss it so much, man. It is such a fun game. Next we've got Code Rapid. This game also has devs logs through a YouTube channel, and the game seems like it's going to be similar to Armored Core but with its own twists to make it its own thing. And hearing about the game's creation through the devlogs has been very interesting, so maybe check this one out to support it as well. And lastly for this video, we've got DMC, or Delivery Must Complete. And this game looks like a lot of fun to me. It's a spectacle fighter, but you're in a jet, which sounds very cool and very fun. This game also has a channel behind it, and one of the first videos I saw from it is how the creator added a parry to the game. Yes, you can parry with the jet. I feel like I don't need to say anything else about the game. Also, side note, the publisher tag for the game is kind of funny. I find it really entertaining. Maybe read it. Alright, I think that's everything. I don't know how long this video is actually going to be based off of the audio I'm recording. It's hard to tell. I don't know, we'll see. But there are many other games that I could talk about, or maybe if you want, I could talk about these games in more detail. Whatever you guys want, I'm willing to hear, as at the end of the day, I'm here to entertain you guys. So whatever you want from me, you know, say it in the comments, give me a heads up, anything, and I'll at least give it a thought. But regardless, thank you for clicking on the video to begin with, let alone getting all the way through it, because I can't imagine this video is going to be very good, so thank you for watching it. And I hope to see you in whatever video I decide to make next. I do hope that you have a good day and a good night, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Thank you for watching, and your viewership is enough for me to keep going. And I hope that this video was at least somewhat entertaining for you, as ultimately that is what I'm here to do. So thank you and goodbye.